This is a very difficult video for me to make, and I debated on whether I even should make this video considering the situation, and I don't want to benefit off of it in any such way, but I feel like it's necessary for me to say something about this and bring it to light the best that I can because I feel very guilty about things that I have done in the past, and I want to at least try to reconcile what I can of the situations of the past, even though I won't really be able to do much in terms of that anymore, considering the situation. But for those of you who don't know, I'll put the post up on the screen from Robbie Noonan, who was the one who brought this to my attention. I subscribed to his channel, and he made a post about this. I think it was Christmas night, and it was very difficult for me to read this. I don't want to go into detail. It's hard for me to read it, but you can read on your screen. And it was very hard for me to hear this. But what even struck me is that it took 4 years for me to even know that Jack Hill had passed away, and especially the way he did pass away is incredibly tragic. And it's very hard for me because we had a history, and unfortunately we had a very bad history, and it is 100% my fault that we had the bad history that we did. For those of you who don't know, to kind of put some context onto what I'm talking about, I know I'm being very vague, but it's a very difficult situation, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes with this, but I started YouTube making NASCAR stop motions, and it was such a big thing back when I started, 2013, 2014, and there were so many guys who did it back then. I mean, the way, for those of you who were here for the NR, stop motions were the NR of 2013, 2014, 2015. Everybody was doing it. Everybody wanted to do it. And Jack Hill, Under Armour Cup Series, was probably the best one at it. He was so good at what he did, and he brought so much to the NASCAR stop motion community back in the day. And I was a terrible person back then. I just was. I had an incredibly massive ego, and I still do to this day. I struggle with that. But back then, I was a very judgmental person, and I criticized so many people in the community based on the quality of their work. And some people, rightfully so, took a lot of trouble with this. And I then, in return, took trouble with them taking trouble with it. And Jack Hill was one of those who stood up to me. And I'm very glad that he did so in retrospect, because he was trying to put me in my place. And I didn't understand it at the time. And I fought back in a way that I am not proud of. I deeply regret the things that I said, the things that I did to him. And it is so hard knowing that I'm never going to be able to reconcile that. What I did does not represent in any way, shape, or form who I am today. But that does not leave any room for excuses for what I said and what I did. And I want to take this time to apologize. And while I'm never going to be able to make amends face to face, I needed to say how sorry I am. I need to say it because even though it is too late, this is something that I needed to do. I just needed to get off my chest. It's been very hard the past few weeks. I've not been talking about it too much because just I didn't know what to say, but I'm sorry. I'm very sorry to Jack Hill. I'm very sorry to his family that he had to go through this. And I'm just sorry to everyone that I might have affected because of my immaturity and just the way that I acted when I was younger. I mean, we all grow from things. I'm very fortunate to have learned from those mistakes. I'm very fortunate that Jack was there to put me in my place, even though I never recognized it. And I'm just so hurt that he made this decision. I'm so hurt that he was in a position where he thought that was the answer, and it's not. But I don't know what he was dealing with. I don't know the extent of the situation he was going through, and I don't want to see anybody else that I know ever have to go through that. It's hard. I don't really know what else to say. It's hard. And it's very hard knowing that I'm never going to be able to reconcile what I did to him because he's gone. And I know that the actions that I took did not help in that decision. With that being said, I think it's very important to learn what we can from this and just try to be patient with those around you. Be gracious to those around you. You never know what someone is going through. And at the time of all of this going down, I did not know what Jack was going through. I never even thought about it. I was going through a lot myself at the time. But it does not excuse the way I acted towards him at all, or to anyone back then. And it's so difficult. It was difficult for me to understand back then, and it's something that I understand a lot clearer now, but it's so hard knowing that at one point I didn't understand this, and it's just hard. Mental health is something that I take very seriously now. I myself have actually gone through therapy a little bit. It has helped me a lot. And I do struggle with anxiety, I do struggle with depression, but I'm very thankful to be in the situation I'm in. I have a wonderful family. I have a lot of great friends who support me. Even when I do stupid things like that, it's just, I'm very thankful to have that. And I just wish that Jack was still here so I could tell him, it's okay, I'm here for you. But I can't anymore. And I feel terrible because of it. Now, of course, I heard about this news from Robbie Noonan, and Robbie as well feels very distraught about it too, and rightfully so. He's actually going to be doing a special tribute race for him, and I implore all of you to check it out. Go subscribe to Robbie if you haven't already. He's going to be doing this. It's a shame that it's 4 years later after this that it's getting around, but I am in full agreement with Robbie that we should at least tribute him in some way, because that's what he deserves. He contributes so much to the NASCAR YouTube community, just to all of us, and I want all of you to, if you have the opportunity, to check it out. He's not doing any sign-ups or anything with it, but definitely show your support, especially if you watched his series, especially if you were just part of the community back then, just like we all were. I definitely want to see it be successful. I want, while I won't reconcile anything that's happened, it's the least that I can do at this point to at least try to come to terms with the situation that happened. So, in conclusion, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way that I acted. I'm sorry to Jack, especially. I know that I did not help in any way with the situation that he may have been dealing with. Um, I hope that his family, I hope that his close friends have found some reconciliation in the situation. I mean, it has been 4 years from what I understand. Um, and I hope that I never have to see anybody else go through that or make that decision. And with that being said, I am here. If you need somebody, there are professionals out there who are trained to help you in situations. It is not the answer. It never is, it never will be. And always just stay strong. And if you need help, get help. And that's all I can say. I'm still very stunned from hearing this, even though it was a couple weeks ago when I did hear it. Um, but I will always remember Jack my whole life. Um, in retrospect, I realized how much he meant to me. He helped me become a better person, even if he didn't realize it at the time, if I didn't realize it at the time. And I'm very thankful for the lessons I learned from that situation. I'm just distraught that I'm never going to be able to thank him and to apologize to him for what I did. Rest in peace, Jack Hill. You will forever be missed.